Top 5 Smartphones for 2020. 2020 has been one of the most interesting years for tech enthusiasts, with smartphone manufacturers delivering outstanding products that raise the bar on every level. Through a lot of deliberation, we've narrowed down to the top 5 best smartphones for the year 2020. Let's take a look. Number 5. Xiaomi Mi Note 10. The Xiaomi Mi Note 10 is close to perfection, but it just doesn't quite make that. It's a cheaper alternative to a lot of the other phones you'll find on this list. For 2 reasons, this may be your next smartphone. The Chinese smartphone manufacturer Xiaomi has been the budget mobile phone king for quite some time, giving its customers the best bang for their buck, and this year's iteration is no different. The phone comes with a beautiful 6.47-inch 2340x1080 display that has curved edges and a fingerprint sensor embedded into it. It's a great size, it looks amazing, and it adds to the overall sleek look of the phone. There's a massive 5260 mAh battery inside the Xiaomi Mi Note 10, and while on paper, that looks fantastic, it should last about the same as your average phone. It'll last you a full day of normal usage, but don't expect a longer life than a full day. As far as the cameras are concerned, the Xiaomi Mi Note 10 on the rear packs a 108-megapixel primary camera with an f/1.69 aperture, a secondary 20-megapixel camera, a third 12-megapixel camera, and a fourth 5-megapixel camera. Leaving the primary and ultra-wide cameras, the other 2 cameras aren't really that great and can be considered as a gimmick. Photos coming out of the cameras are surprisingly good. This could be the result of Xiaomi's ever-improving camera optimizations. The Xiaomi Mi Note 10 is a well-rounded phone, and for its retail price of $455 for the 128GB model, the Mi Note 10 delivers all the right essentials. Number 4. Oppo Find X2 Pro. The Oppo Find X2 Pro is the most accomplished phone from the manufacturer so far. The Oppo Find X2 Pro doesn't have what I would call an innovative design, but it is clearly flagship class. The display wraps ever so slightly around the side of the phone, made by an aluminum frame. The back of the phone wraps around similarly, which results in an undoubtedly classy-looking device. According to Oppo, the back is made of 2 types of ceramic, with one half giving out a soft feel, and the other a slightly rougher one. All of this contributes to the lustrous look and a unique hand feel that's soft but also grips the ridges of your fingerprints quite nicely. And despite the 5x optical periscopic zoom and 60x digital zoom, this one manages to remain quite slim. But more on this later. Unlike the fancy Find X, this one pretty much looks like a regular chocolate bar form factor that everyone else has settled at. There's no motorized rising camera action either, but that's a good thing, as this mature design now gets you an IP68 rating, meaning you can jump into a pool with it and it will live to tell your tale. With 1 billion colors to display, the colors are as natural looking as they get on a smartphone. It's fast too at 120Hz refresh rate, and the O1 Ultra Vision upscaling engine will bump up the frames to make your standard videos look smoother. The Find X2 Pro checks all the boxes you can think of when it comes to performance. There's a flagship standard Snapdragon 865 chipset paired with a healthy 12GB of RAM that's good enough to run any game you can throw at it or multitask to your heart's content. In broad daylight, images come out vibrant and crisp with good dynamic range and detail. No matter what you want to shoot, this phone can handle it. Move indoors and noise begins to creep in, and that coupled with Oppo's aggressive noise reduction at times leads to little to no details, especially when capturing faces or portraits. As for the hybrid zoom 2.0, it does well in daylight, getting you usable photos till 5x optical zoom, and it does a good job of shooting detailed photos in dim lighting as well. It's safe to say that there's no other smartphone like the Oppo Find X2 Pro today. In the ultra-premium segment where things have gotten a bit stale, the Find X2 Pro is a matured successor to the Find X and a breath of fresh air when it comes to design, even though it sticks to the basics. In short, it's a true all-rounder we had been waiting for. Number 3. OnePlus 8T. This new 8T model feels like the fastest follow-up ever, especially considering the 8 and 8 Pro were launched in the midst of the global lockdown. First up is the screen, and while it may look similar, it now sports the even brighter 120Hz refresh rate that the OnePlus 8 Pro has, and differences may be hard to notice in everyday apps. But if you're a social media miner, you'll probably appreciate the bump. It's so smooth that sometimes it's easy to make accidental actions as your muscle memory readjusts to this new way of scrolling. Next up is the battery, which also sees a meaningful upgrade, and with the new screen refresh rate, OnePlus has been wise to beef it up. From 4,300 mAh, it now sees a spec bump to 4,500 mAh. But more importantly, there's an all-new version of Warp Charge, now called Warp Charge 65 Fast Charging, and it really does offer blazing speeds of charge. A full charge from 0% took about 45 minutes, and this means you can easily find multiple windows in a day to top up the 8T even if you're a power user. Fast is a theme followed in other areas such as storage too. RAM sees a bump from 8GB to 12GB as standard, and even the flash storage has been upgraded to UFS 3.1. Even the larger camera housing has the gentlest of bumps and gets polished edges to make it look premium. 2 new elements join the party now, a second LED flash and a dedicated 2MP monochrome lens that aims to enhance detail and contrast even on the regular photos. Besides adding a whole new level of detail in the BMW, of course. As always, OnePlus Oxygen OS adds a layer of shine on the already great Android 11 experience, and with every generation. It exemplifies the importance of restraint. It's a tasteful take on Android with meaningful additions, like one-handed use that pulls up a brilliant share option right from the preview thumbnail after taking a photo, making it great for one-handed clicking and sharing. The information-rich always-on screen also gets more creative options that might reek of marketing-heavy material for some. But like all good skins, thankfully, everything can be turned off if you choose to go that route. It's all controlled by the same Snapdragon 865 processor that OnePlus claims is similar to the 865 Plus variant, except in terms of 5G performance. Getting a OnePlus 8T in the US isn't really a good choice, as it is priced higher than the iPhone 12 mini. But over at the UK, where the pricing is way more competitive, the OnePlus 8T is a no-brainer of a choice. Number 2. Samsung Galaxy S20. The Samsung Galaxy S20 is the Android flagship for people who actually like smaller phones. Thanks to its 6.2-inch display, the S20 is easy to use with one hand, and yet this compact device packs quite a punch. However, the price is not small at $999. Just like its bigger and even pricier brothers, the Galaxy S20 gives you a fluid 120Hz display, powerful new camera system with improved zoom and 5G speeds. It comes with 12GB of RAM and 128GB of storage standard. You can't opt for a model with more RAM or storage, but you can add up to 1TB of storage via the phone's microSD card slot. Samsung had fallen behind Apple and Google in photo quality, but the Galaxy S20 looks to be the competition with bigger sensors, a bigger zoom, and new features that make it easier to shoot and share. The Samsung Galaxy S20 has a triple rear camera that starts with a 12MP wide sensor. A telephoto lens uses a 64MP sensor and a 12MP ultra-wide camera. The Samsung Galaxy S20 doesn't have the Galaxy S20 Ultra's monster 100 times space zoom, but it does have a more powerful zoom than the Galaxy S10. The hybrid optic zoom goes up to 3 times, which is supposed to be lossless zoom, and the digital zoom goes up to 30 times. As you get closer to 30 times, the camera view gets shaky, but overall, This is an improvement on the 2x zoom in the Galaxy S10. The Galaxy S20 is a beast on the video front, as it can record 8K videos at up to 24 frames per second. You'll also be able to cast videos to Samsung 8K QLED TVs, if you can afford one, and take 33MP photos from 8K videos you might want to share. The Samsung Galaxy S20 6.2-inch OLED display has 120Hz of refresh rate. At $999, the Samsung Galaxy S20 isn't cheap, but it is the most affordable Galaxy S20 phone. It's also the most compact phone in Samsung's flagship lineup, making it the best choice for those looking for an Android device that won't bulge out of their pockets or require two hands to operate. Number 1. iPhone 12 Pro Max. This is the biggest iPhone ever, the biggest iPhone in the quartet that makes up the iPhone 12 series. The Apple iPhone 12 Pro Max has grown up, yet it is not just about size. Till last time around when the new iPhones came circling around the bend, the only difference between the Pro phones was largely just the screen size, with most other things that mattered remaining constant. This year, the iPhone 12 Pro Max gets that extra something as far as the hardware is concerned, which means you can draw even more out of the iPhone 12 Pro Max compared with the iPhone 12 Pro, particularly with the cameras. But are the camera upgrades on the 12 Pro Max worth the extra money? The short answer is yes, but not just because of the camera. Despite being only 2 grams heavier than last year's 11 Pro Max, the iPhone 12 Pro Max feels even more solid and well-built. The flat edges, the matte-etched glass back, and stainless steel sides are on another level of premium fit and finish. Defining all this premium bigness is a 6.7-inch OLED screen which houses Apple's XDR display. At a 65mm equivalent, the new telephoto lens on the 12 Pro Max has a 2.5 times optical zoom. Compare that to the 52mm equivalent telephoto lens on the 12 Pro, which has a 2 times optical zoom. And that 0.5x extra goes a long way. It's definitely nowhere close to the 5 times optical zoom on the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. Taking photos where there isn't a lot of light is a weakness of any camera, and the smaller the camera, like the ones on a phone, the more this weakness is amplified. The cameras on the iPhone 12 Pro Max seem built around the singular goal of taking outstanding photos and videos in medium and low light situations. For the most part, all these claims seem true. The Pro Max takes great photos in low light, but when compared to photos from the regular 12 Pro, the differences don't jump out at you right away. And that's less of a strike against the 12 Pro Max, and more of an indication of how good the cameras are on the iPhone 12 Pro. The iPhone 12 Pro Max is powered by the A14 Bionic chip, and it's peppy and fast. The A14 chip is as much about giving you great performance now as it is about giving you great performance through years of iOS updates. In the benchmark test for performance, the 12 Pro Max was on par with, not surprisingly, the iPhone 12, 12 mini, and 12 Pro. All of the new iPhones hold the distinction of having the most powerful processors in the market right now. With advances like the best photo or video camera, MagSafe, Ceramic Shield, A14 Bionic, better image signal processing, 5G future-proofing, and so much more, iPhone 12 Pro Max comes with a hefty price tag, but nonetheless, it is the best smartphone that the average consumer can buy right now. Do you think we've overlooked a smartphone that would have made the list? Let us know in the comments below. Drop a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell for more videos like this.